YouTube fam, and I was able to get my tunes loaded onto my SCT tuner device in order to make this video for you guys, because if you have a 6.0, you know that you had, especially if you tow. I use my truck legitimately primarily for towing only, and I do anywhere from 10,000 pounds, well, yeah, 10,000 pounds all the way up to 25,000 pounds on a regular basis with my truck. Now, when I got a new PCM, trying to figure out what the heck was going on, turns out it was that master wiring situation, yada yada yada. What I needed to do was order some new tunes, because I couldn't program the truck with the old PCM or anything like that. So what I did was I ordered a new tune, 3 tunes from Blessed Performance. 2 of them were tow tunes, and I loaded them onto the tuner last night. I had a MacBook, so I had to download Parallels, a little trial version, and figure out how to get the tunes loaded onto the can tuner. So I was running the can tune, the 50 horsepower and the 65 horsepower. They're pretty much about the same thing. I really don't feel a difference, other than that the 65 has like a little bit more harder shift points. But needless to say, they had my engine coolant and engine oil temps like fluctuating like crazy. I would go all the way up to stock numbers, and I would have to, you know, turn the switch on and to get back down to, you know, lower numbers. Good thing is I had that thermostat that, you know, drops everything like super low. You already know, coming out of Salt Lake City, the grades are stupid. They're like 8 to 10 grades, you know, 7 to 10% grades going up straight uphill. You know, I'm carrying a load of drainage pipes, 6,000 pounds, you know, mad tall, all the resistance and all the heat. So yeah, my temps was fluctuating like crazy, which they should. It is summer, you know, they will rise. But you know, remembering my old TSD tune, which is what I've had previously, I ran before. I also had a Blessed Performance tow tune before, the Tow Boss before, but this was like almost 2 years ago. So they literally told me I had to, they gave me a discount code, so shout out to them for giving me a discount code. But they said, man, you gotta get a whole new one, because, you know, basically the tune's expired basically in a sense, which is cool. So they gave me a little discount code, shout out to them. And I was able to get 3 brand new tunes from them. I got the Tow Boss again. One of them is the what is it called, the Eco Beast tow. The other one is the what is it called, the Tow Boss, and the other one is the Blessed Extreme, I believe it's called. So that's just more of your street package street package non-towing tune. So that's just probably when I'm at home, and when I get the other truck done, you know, I'll probably slap on that one, you know, just to have a little bit of fun. But anyway, this tune, I'm running the Eco Beast. Let's get into the meat. I'm running the Eco Beast tow tune from Blessed Performance, and when I tell you, this tune is superb. I think it's at like 100 something like that extra horsepower or something like that. I don't know the torque numbers on it, but I'm showing like 450 on my torque calculated on average. You know, it does drop down to probably about, you know, I don't use all of that. I drop down to 300, late 300s. But needless to say, man, my temps are like, the good news about this one, the can tune and the regular just stock truck alone towing, your temps rise like crazy. This one, early fan actuator written into it, so my temps, like, I'm about to climb right now, and this is a nice little feature. Climbing right now, slap on the tow haul. I don't even have to let off the gas, like, to have a less harder shift, because my old tunes, like, I would have some, like, in a sense, a hard shift every time I hit the tow haul button. I don't know if it had to do with an error in the TCM strategy or something like that. I don't know nothing about tunes, or at least writing tunes, but that jump would be a hard shift. But this one is a nice gradual shift. You don't even have to lift off of it to, you know, lessen the impact of it. It's completely smooth. Climbing up this grade, because that's what we're doing. We're climbing right now. The temperature right now is 71 degrees. I don't know if you can hear me, but that temperature was 71 degrees ambient temp outside. I'm climbing. Of course, I just started, so the temps are going to be low right now, but by the time we get to the top of this hill right here, we should definitely see some higher numbers given the temps. And like I said, this is not even rising for real. Like, that's crazy. And they've been staying steady. And this is how long I've been driving. Mind you, I'm getting 10.5 miles per gallon. The can tune, I was getting like 8.8, because I couldn't get nowhere, man. I literally could not get nowhere. And I've been driving for 7 hours so far. I mean, not 7 hours, for 1 hour. My bad, it's early. But yeah, my clock just started earlier, about an hour ago, and that's how long I've been driving. I reset the mileage reader, and I'm getting 10.4 to the gallon right now after driving for about an hour. So I'm at the top of the hill, cresting it, and we're at 193,202. Like I said, it does have the racing Mishimoto racing thermostat in here. I don't even have the Mishimoto radiator and intercooler. I used to have the dual core radiator, but you know, that joker ended up cracking on me after, or at least leaking on me after about 300,000 miles. So that's pretty good. I lost my receipt, so I couldn't get a warranty. Such and such. But anyway, climbing here, and it didn't even I haven't activated the switch on it or anything. You know what I'm saying? This joker is still doing its thing, man. It's still doing its thing. I mean, these are the numbers right now. It's pretty crazy. So, and then another thing important to understand is when I was coming up out of Denver, Salt Lake City, that whole area, me climbing a hill like this, man, I would be my engine, the load I was putting on the motor was 60 to 70 to 80, sometimes 90, which is dangerous to me. I will say this, I have not seen above 60 on the engine load at all, you know, with this tune at all climbing. And we're definitely doing a little bit of waves of a climb. I actually have more weight than I had coming out of Salt Lake City. I have 5, 6, 7, 7,000 on the trailer, and the trailer weighs about 8,500. So y'all do the math. You know, we probably got about 15,000 pounds that we're pulling with the gooseneck setup. So needless to say, shout out to Blessed Performance, man. This EcoBeast tow tune is superb. I'm not sure how the tow box is gonna do because it does have a little less horsepower, even though we're more concerned about torque with the with towing. But you know, it's still superb. And I like the feature that it also has is I'm gonna get out this gear. But yeah, the feature that it has that I do like is that when I'm able to be home, I can just turn off tow haul and I can ride normal and still open up the truck. Because it's definitely opened up the truck where it needed to be to be able to drive down the road. Especially when you're hot shot, you gotta be able to keep up. You know, you gotta be able to drop off your loads on time. And running stock or running the can tune, you're not gonna get anywhere. Anyway, I mean, I'm climbing out of Salt Lake City. I mean, I'm pretty sure the dudes on the CB radio was talking about me. You know, because at one point I was doing 20 and an 80 climbing a hill. It was pretty crazy. You know, it was ridiculous. But I guarantee you with this tune, I mean, we probably would have did. Granted, it was in the construction zone too. Granted, we probably would have. I don't think I was doing 20. It may have been a 40 and an 80. I might be tripping, but yeah, needless to say, with this tune now, I wouldn't have no problem. And you could almost keep speed if you really wanted to put your foot in it. You really could kind of keep speed on medium grades if you wanted to. But yeah, and look, check it outside. Don't worry, that tarp is bungeed around. It's not going nowhere. It's inside the trailer. It's a little flappy flap because it's open on the other end. But if you look at this load is pretty tall. I mean, that load has probably 6'6", you know what I mean? 6'6" feet, 6'6", maybe 7 feet tall. So yeah, it's definitely probably 7. So I have no problems with the wind resistance, nothing like that. You know, we just out here getting it. This is no sponsor, nothing either. This is straight up me being happy with the tune. Oh, and I forgot to add one last thing. The exhaust brake feature is everything. So you let off the gas, I mean, it slows you down. The can tune situation, it says Jake brake. That is not that good compared to the tune one there. It gives you a little bit more juice going down the hill. That way it slows you down without even having to really press the brakes, because you definitely had a massive construction zone, potholes. But anyway, it slows you down almost like you got the the stockpile on and your brakes, which is very nice. You don't really even have to touch your brakes going down the hill unless you're probably going around maybe a 6, 7, 8% grade, and then you got to tap them and then lock it in. Again, I got what is it? So what? 4.5, 5, 6, 7,000 pounds on the trailer. You know what I'm saying? On the 8,000 pound trailer. So that'll give you the numbers that you need to know. And this is where MPG was after driving for about an hour and a half. Shoot, my boy needs to turn off his clock and go. Well, not even an hour and a half. We've been riding for 2 hours. Hello. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the tunes to the tow box to give you guys a review. The ambient temp is still 70. We're still in Missouri before we get to St. Louis. I'm gonna go ahead and swap these tunes really quick, and that way I can get an accurate review, since I'm in the same terrain, same type of altitude and stuff, and an accurate review of the tow box as well. So program vehicle, I don't know if you have to return this thing to stock before you swap the tunes or not, but I just always do out of safe practice, because I don't really have time, you feel me? So We're gonna go ahead and change it, turn it back to stock before we load the new tune on there. I'm pretty sure you can just swap them once you're in the tuner. But see, oh yeah, see, it's like writing, I don't know. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna do a little look. Got this little bitty baby tarp job, twisted straps, make the straps not flat. So, it's a little situation we got here. I did not have to tarp the whole thing. I only have to tarp the front half because of the electronics. Always checking to see, you know, the boards, nothing crushed in. Open up this. Nothing's crushed in. It's always good to see. Just had a steel load, crushing some of my boards, man. That junk like really pissed me off. But it is what it is. So I gotta get home in a couple days. It is Thursday. I'm trying to be home tomorrow night, and I got boards to fix this weekend. All right, now that I've done my load check, while we wait, go ahead. It's programming still. Okay. And process it. We're almost at the finished product, people. Almost at the finished product. Now we writing tunes. It takes mad long. Actually, now that I turned off duty like right when we started this process, so this is how long this junk takes to swap the tune. You know, a lot of these guys these days got switch on the fly. I personally like don't want to be doing all that. I mean, I could learn it, but I'm being lazy. I don't want to. You know what I mean? I don't really care to. Just take the time, go ahead and do this. You know, it really don't bother me that much. We live in a world these days where everybody's mad and patient. And one of the fruits of the spirit is definitely being long-suffering and patient. That's a quality to have. You know, definitely that's definitely one of the qualities you should have and learn to have, because it's highly beneficial. There's 7 fruits of the spirit, Galatians 5:22. Go check it out if you haven't. And yes, I know that by heart. Turn everything on. So Tow Boss is loaded, people. Crunk up the same. Ooh, I need to turn on my tank while I'm playing. Gotta turn on that auxiliary tank. They need to make a, I don't know if they do. Might have to get it for my next truck, but I have got to get the one where I need a button inside the truck. I can go ahead and just press and it turns on the tank for me while I'm driving. Is that getting out? Actually, no, I probably need to get out because it's also good to use the bathroom, take a nice little potty break, and get out, stretch your legs. And normally I have to turn on my tank after like 3 or 4 hours of driving. So normally about 4 hours is a good time to stop, stretch your legs, stretch your neck, and you know, get your posture stretched on out there. Gotta take care of yourself, people. singular tow tune. It's not both, you know, street and tow combined. So we'll see if it does me any better, you know, or do I like it. That's what we're doing numbers wise. You know, engine load probably about the same as the other one. Of course, we just was idling and parked, so all these temps got to get up to operating temp. Ooh, we dropped the gear real nice. Nice and strong, nice and smooth. I love it. Real easy, because with the other, the stock the stock truck and the stock can tunes, it just doesn't drop no type of gears, not quick at all. It doesn't recognize that you're going up a hill till like you're already up the hill and you drop down to 45 miles per hour, or probably like 1500 RPM, and then it wants to drop the gear. That's way too low. You're dogging out the truck. You want that gear to drop ASAP, because especially when you notice you're going up any sort of incline, you want to go ahead and, you know, drop that gear right before you get on up, like right as you're climbing, because you already know you got to climb. Why dog out the truck? It makes no sense. I don't know why like manufacturers didn't do that off rip. It's kind of crazy, but I guess that's why they these days, like I said, this truck is almost 20 years old. That's why they got these 10 speeds and 8 speeds these days. But you know, soon enough. But it's solid. I mean, we climbing, temps low. Of course, we just started. Got my hazards on because, you know, we just came out the gate and we climbing a pretty decent grade. You know, engine load, check it out. Oh, check it out, we climbing. It's not bad. Check out the temps. We just pulled out the gate, doing pretty good. Engine load at 30. That's not bad. That's not bad. Decent size hill. Decent size hill. Because like I say, right now in the stock, I would be running like I'd say around 70 to 80 right now on that engine load. That junk would be crazy. But everything seems to be reading pretty well. Definitely reading pretty well. But anyway, let me drive for about an hour and then I'll see if I can, you know, really understand the difference. Right now, this tune feels almost a little bit smoother so far. Like smoother on the shifts at least. That's what I will say. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna get to the drive and really test it out. So when that says 5 hours, I'm gonna get back online and, you know, let you guys know what I feel and let you guys know what I think. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. I lied. I really didn't think I was about to lie to you guys, but I lied to you guys because I'm trying to review it now. I just climbed up this little bitty like gradual. I mean, you can't really tell. It's an incline, but it's kind of gradual because you can kind of see the cars in front. They're definitely coming. Let me see if I can get the camera angle right for you guys. They're definitely coming downhill. Even when they came down that downhill, they're still going down. So that means we're still going up, even though it looks like we're going up even a bigger hill coming up, right? And this thing is bogged down, man. This is what I'm talking about. We're doing 1800 on the engine RPM. The gear has not dropped, unlike the EcoBeast tow. You know, it's kind of bogged down. The torque calculated is mad high. The engine load is still very low, which I like. Very low. We're doing like 30. I got my foot in it, you know, like we're doing 10% on the 10 pounds of boost. I mean, and normally at 10 pounds of boost with the other one, I was doing probably like 40% on the engine load, you know, 40, maybe 50% on the engine load. With the stock, you're doing like 70, 60, 70, 80% on the engine load, sometimes 90, just depending. And this one's staying at 36, 37, so definitely less. It seems like it's less wear, like what do you call it? Less work on the engine or on the motor. But these RPMs being so low, I feel like that hurts your fuel mileage. Out the gate with the EcoBeast tow, I was doing like out the gate I was already at like 9 something. Out the gate with this one, and I climbed like this one. I mean, we've been in Missouri, these up and down terrains. Missouri is kind of like the same throughout. It's just up and down, gradual incline, up and down. So I kind of came out the gate like that. You know, I came out the gate climbing, so I guess we still have some more room to, you know, let this MPG do its thing. Yeah, so now we're at 9. Like I said, when I started out with EcoBeast tow, I was at 9. You know, the temps are still pretty low, you know, for us to be still on a gradual incline, 201, 209. You know, we're doing 72 miles, 72 on the ambient temp. It was 70 degrees earlier. Not too much of a difference. So nothing's really changed temperature-wise, but I've noticed the engine load has dropped going up a hill, but the RPM is lower going up the hill. I guess more torque centered, I don't know, but I'm not sure. I like this one already. Because the EcoBeast, you know, I'm doing 60 still. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Like with this grade, I should be doing about 65 with the EcoBeast tow. You know, that tune is also more expensive. I think it was like 125 for that one specifically. You know, every other tune you get after that is probably like the tune after that is like extra like $20, something like that. So nothing. So it's better to just buy everything in bulk. You know, that way you save discount. But if you buy them just individually, you had to choose Tow Boss or Eco Tow Beast. The Eco Tow Beast like 125, and then the Tow Boss is 100. So the more expensive one seems to be the better tune already off rip going up and down these hills. It doesn't really, you know, it seems a little bit like slower. You know, which it should be because it's less horsepower. You know what I'm saying? It's like 100. I think it only gives you like, I'm sorry, not 100, but I think it only gives you like 50 extra horsepower, and the EcoBeast Tow gives you like an extra 50 on top of that. You know, but the EcoBeast Tow is more similar to my old TSD tune than it is. Like I said, I never really ran my old Tow Boss tune at all, so I can't give you that comparison at all. But you know, we're not dropping any gears and we're climbing. You know, I need these gears to drop, and I'm already in tow haul mode. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be in tow haul mode because I got the Tow Boss on. I don't know. Watch a video, but I got tow haul on, and you know, we're a little boggy, we're a little bogged down. Can't really go. But the difference between this tune almost feels like a tiny bit more powerful than the aggressive 50 horsepower tune from the can, but it keeps my temperatures low at bay and the engine load down. That's the only really difference I see. The load on the motor's down and the temps are down, but that's all fan tuning. I think I already prefer the EcoBeast Tow. That's definitely a more powerful tune. That's the way I gotta ride in order to get where I gotta go. You know, we'll see. So we'll just have to see after about an hour. But so far, not my favorite. Anyway, let's get to the drive. So I've been riding for about 15-20 minutes, and I gotta hop on this low board and concentrate. But I'm gonna give you a little review after that. So far, we got 10-1 on the MPG. Yeah, it has been rising, so I do expect it maybe to rise a little bit more. It might rise to the same as the EcoBeast Tow tune. I will say this tune, it's not bad, man. It really is not bad. For it to be 40 horsepower, 40-50 horsepower less, you can definitely feel it. It does have more low end torque. That's what I'm noticing. But it's definitely like a decrease on the engine load percentage. The temps, we've been doing nothing but climbing up and down. I haven't hit not the first switch for the fan. We're at 72 degrees Fahrenheit now, so now it's even hotter, and we're doing 199 to 10 on the oil, which is great. All right, you guys, I've been driving for an hour. I didn't think I was gonna be able to get this footage because I've been in and out of traffic, and I'm getting closer and closer to St. Louis right now. I'm still on the Tow Boss tune, and it just reached 11.4 on the MPG. It's like 2.5 MPG, like better than the original stock can tune, or the stock, so I'll call it the stock can tune, which is aggressive tow tune on my on the can tune. So temps still doing great. Rocking 77 degrees. These are the temps. We've been climbing up and down, up and down, up and down. Just was in traffic, so the temps are actually where they're supposed to be. Tow Boss is smooth. It's a smooth, but a nice little riding tune. You can ride long distance with this tune. I ain't got nothing to back. I got nothing against it. The EcoBeast, if you're a hot rider and you like to go fast, and you're a little bit of a more aggressive driver, you're gonna hop in the Tow Boss and be like, what is this? But if you just you tow regular, you're just trying to be a responsible driver, man, Tow Boss will do just fine. One last thing, the Tow Boss is a set it and forget it tow haul button tune, and the EcoBeast Tow is a play with the tow haul button to drop the gears and set the exhaust brake, all those type of stuff. You get to play with it and have a little fun with it. This will definitely it depends on how you look at it. It can be fun, it can be cumbersome. You know what I'm saying? If you're a hands-off type of driver, for example, I like manual vehicles. You know what I'm saying? I prefer them. I like the fun and thrill of manual. So having that tow haul button is actually kind of fun for me. If you're an automatic driver, you may want to stick with the Tow Boss because it's a set it and forget it. You don't have to play with the tow haul button. At least with the way they wrote my tunes, according to my choices. What's poppin', YouTube fam, man? Good morning, good morning. It's morning for me. I may not be morning for you, but I had to go ahead and, give you guys my couple week update. It's probably been like 3 weeks since I have been running the Blessed Performance toe tunes, and I had to switch up. I had to go with a different tuner, man, because ultimately, because ultimately, man, the tunes just weren't shifting right. I didn't like. The only thing I really liked about those tunes was one thing, was the fan was doing what it's supposed to do. It gave me better MPG, and and on top of that, the Blessed Performance tunes, definitely had the modified shift points, but they just were not shifting properly. The toe boss was basically, like I told you guys before, all van too. It basically took the top. It seems like it just took the stock file and just modified like the fan and a couple things. If you get that added to yours, it maybe give you a little bit more horsepower, but that's about it. I don't know. I just don't know. It just wasn't much of a difference to really even purchase the tune. Granted, if you buy one tune, you get like a couple, like the other ones at a discount for sure. That's why I got so many at the time. But needless to say, the EcoBeast toe is what I was really banking on. The more horsepower, the more torque. I definitely felt it. It was like my original TST tune. It really was, but the shift points were off. And I wrote that in the message. I asked them to rewrite the tune. I told them that from first to second was shifting really hard, and what was else? The third, I think it was like third to fourth was shifting hard, and it was downshifting like crazy. And that was the main flaw to me with that EcoBeast toe tune. That third to fourth was just garbage, and I'm not speaking from just my truck. The OG actually has been doing the exact same thing, and every truck is different. Don't get me wrong. Not all vehicles are the same, so tunes are going to act differently with trucks, but generically speaking, they should be right around the same thing. So he didn't have as bad of a downshift and upshift from third to fourth, or from fourth back to third when you're going up a hill or anything like that while towing. His was not that bad compared to mine, but mine, oh man, it bogged me down all the way to like 1500 RPM, going into fourth, climbing. I'm like, that's crazy, before I decided to want to downshift back into third. Or while I'm driving, forward, it upshifts to fourth prematurely, and it's not getting the full range, on RPMs before it shifts into the next gear, which while towing, that's a major no-no. You're not trying to do that. You're gonna use a lot of miles, you're gonna use a lot of fuel doing that. Your MPG is definitely gonna decrease doing that. It's just bad for the motor overall, especially when the truck can do better. You know what I mean? So, needless to say, there was a customer service issue out of Blessed Performance, which I really didn't appreciate. It's kind of like you call the number and then they tell you to email, and the guy over the email, I was being patient with him. I don't know what his name is or anything like that, but the guy who was doing my tunes, I was trying to be as patient as possible, but he kept writing back in the emails after multiple threads that, hey, I already sent you the tune back at such and such a date. And I explained to him, I did the relearn process and all that within a day. I tow all the time, all day long. 14-hour days being a truck driver. And so when I did that, he emailed back and was like, I don't understand, I sent you the tunes already, yada, yada, yada. So me, I don't really have patience for, people giving me the runaround. I'd rather just I just cut my losses with it, and I was like, I'm gonna go with a different tuner. So TSD, I believe they jumped. I don't know if they got bought out or whatever the case may be, but apparently the same tunes are under PCD now, which I got the same toe tune out of them, as well as the SPD tune, the street tune, but we're all about towing right now. So I downloaded that tune, off rip. I was thinking something was wrong with my transmission. From with the other tune, with the EcoBeast toe, I really thought something was wrong. I like the power out of it. Let me repeat. I like the power out of it. I wanted the ability to basically run like I had a street tune while I didn't have the tow haul on, and then run like I was towing, while the tow haul was on in those first few gears, and that's what they advertised. But that shift point was just awful. The modded shift point was just absolutely terrible. And especially if you don't have a fix for it, I just don't know what to tell you. The only thing that was great was the fan, and how they cut on the electric fan clutch, and how that actuated. So that's the only upside, was their fan mod is far superior, what they do with the computer there. But going to PCD, shift points are doing what they're supposed to do. Now, mind you, the fan isn't where I want it to be. I wish I could take Blessed Performance's fan actuator mod to the computer and put it onto the PCD, and this tune would be, I mean, this truck would be great. I'm still in the process of gonna be emailing them about that and see what they can do. But for the most part, that's the only problem. I'm actuate that switch down there. I'm climbing up grades, and I don't know if I said previously, but shoot, man, I'm coming up out of West Virginia mountains right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that's necessary, especially in these 90-degree temps that we're seeing this week, man. So that's the only downside to that tune. But otherwise, shift points are great. Tow haul features great. I mean, it is by far the way to go. It opens the truck up where you need it to be. And I haven't tested out the SPD. I already know what the MPD did. I had that tune previously a while back, and I just was like, man, I know what the MPD does. Let me just go ahead and get the SPD because I know what my truck can do. You know, it's built out to where it needs to be right now, and shoot, you know, we're keeping it pushing. But anyway, I just want to give you guys an update. You know, if word from the wise, you know, if you, and not, like I said, this is coming from not just me, this is also the OGs running to the same thing with the other tunes. But he actually switched back from the tow boss because of the fan situation. So he's getting his TSD written, but these temps, man, it's just too doggone hot to be, you know, flipping the switch. But I don't really mind flipping the switch. They modded my fan already in my tune. It's okay, you know, but it's not like Blessed Performance where you don't even have to worry about that switch for real. Like I never really even had to touch the switch for real, especially hauling the weight that I'm hauling. I only got like 5,000 to 7,000 pounds on the trailer right now, you know, so, you know, we're not that heavy right now. You know, some of you know, tow a lot less weight than I do, but, you know, for me, this is not heavy. And for me to, you know, have to hit the tow haul button going up the hill in 90-degree weather, and my oil temps hitting 222, some, the truck can handle it because that's what stock's supposed to do, you know, but we're not trying to see those temps at all. We're trying to save the truck and make it most reliable as possible. The only way to do that is to cool your truck down from on all ends, you know what I mean? So that's just my update. And I mean, take it from me, this is years of experiences. We got this truck 77 on the dash, and now look where we at. Ooh, and I need to cut my tank. I think I saw that. But anyway, that's what we got going on, man. And I just want to give you guys my personal review on the Blessed Performance tune, and you know how that stuff operated. I personally, if I was looking for a tow tune, I wouldn't go with them. I would go with PCD all day and just get them to get that fan figured out, or just get you the switch, you know, inside your truck modified. You know, hook a power switch on up to the blue wire inside the fan, inside to your electrical fan clutch, and then turn that joker on before you start climbing the hill, and it'll keep them temps down. It does lower your MPG, so you don't want to run it all the time. So, you know, that's just a quick little tip. And I will say this, I don't know if I mentioned this either, but Blessed Performance customer service, man, it's just, they take a couple days, which they advertise, but PCD, I mean, they advertise the same thing, a little 48-hour turnaround. But guess what? PCD, they turn around your stuff like sometimes within the day. If you email them first thing in the morning, my experience, they've emailed me back. I've gotten my checkout payment stuff within like maybe a couple minutes, and then once I pay, I got my tunes in a couple hours, and boom, I was hitting the road with the tune. The only reason I didn't put it on, so I didn't have my laptop. But anyway, got all the tunes loaded onto the scanner, man, and I'm just not even gonna worry about the Blessed Performance. Like I said, I really don't like their customer service. They're nice over the phone, don't get me wrong, you know, but the email responses just don't make sense, and that's the problem that I have. It's not the lack of response, it's the lack of what you're saying to me doesn't make sense off of the information I just told you. It's like, you know, it makes no sense. So it's almost like they don't want to, you know, keep rewriting the tunes. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they don't want to take it a step further, you know, which they shouldn't have to. PCD, I mean, I really don't have to tell them nothing about this tune. I just know how Blessed Performance does their fan, and I want that on this tune. And I'll never have any complaints. I'll never take this truck off this tune, so this transmission can, you know, do its thing on this tune. But anyway, nice shot with me out, man. That's just my review. Y'all stay tuned. Stay blessed. Peace.